Hello, it's a lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. Today, the 1st of January 2023. My name is Jeffrey Zambo. Our top stories in the news tonight: MUMBWA District Hospital operating without a mortuary for 3 months. Authorities call for enhanced adherence to COVID-19 guidelines. 14-year-old boy of Lusaka abandons school to take care of his siblings. In international news, Ivorian President vows soldiers held in Mali will return soon. In sports news, Al Nassr fans rush to buy club merchandise after Ronaldo signing.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters on 2nd January 2023 with his guest, Dr. Chimba Kambwili.
You can't do this thing, show me. This is not right. No, but this is not right. Even when he was on the cross, feeling the pain, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do." Equally, I'm a Christian, and that's my life. Where I come from, they say, "Nalikwevele tabulapo, nalikwevele tabulapo." Elo kabili wa kweve mfwa ya kwa noko mutanji. But sometimes I'm misunderstood.
As they discuss building a better Zambia
on DSTV channel 274, Go TV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello once again, Happy New Year to you all tuned in to the news. Another news in detail. A 14-year-old boy of Lusaka's Kabanana area has abandoned school to take care of his 3 siblings, among them a physically challenged girl. Christopher Sakala tells Camnet News that his family was kicked out of their house by their father's family members following his death in May of 2022. He says when his mother goes on her daily routine to do piecework, he is left with no option but to remain with his 3 siblings and help change the diapers of his 10-year-old sister, whose lower body part is paralyzed. Meanwhile, the 38-year-old mother of the 5 children, identified as Nyangu Zulu, says her husband built a house on his family land and that after his death, she and her 5 children were kicked out of the house, leaving them stranded. More in this report.
While his friends enjoying the benefit of free education introduced by the United Party for National Development UPND-led administration, this 14-year-old boy of Lusaka's Kabanana area has abandoned school to look after his 3 siblings, among them a 10-year-old disabled girl. Christopher Sakala has narrated to this reporter that following the death of his father in May of 2022, his mother and his 4 other siblings were chased from a house his father built, and ever since, life has never been the same. He says when his mother goes to do piecework in the community, he is left with no option but to look after his siblings, including changing the diapers of his 10-year-old sister, whose lower part of the body is paralyzed.
Inabatupisha mnyumba sote tukapira pana so mama kandiwa kuti apirenda manyumba so mando stop piecework so ndini masala Nafana wanga wami sometimes amanda sometimes wakanda ko huku wapasa ko 20 kwata wakanda ko huku wapasa ko 20 kwata so che tingapo 10 kwata wasunga wafaka panyuma.
The young boy says if given a chance, he wants to go back to school so that he can get an education and look after his disabled sister.
So ndini masala afana wanga utingende ku school chimanikanga kaini na mfana wanga tandizo ya bwanje ufona switi school. Unaenda hapo kwa school? Unaenda hapo kwa school pamene una badwe? Amastundira amazinyera so ndini mamchinya madaipa. But family watati kulipa matatandizirako. Koza familia mami kulipa matatandizirako but mami ndiazi. Ndia matsunga na mashtavuza.
We also caught up with the mother of these children who emotionally narrated to this reporter that her late husband, who worked in the construction sector, built a house on the family land and that after his death, she and her 5 children were kicked out of the house by her husband's family.
Amnanga anamwalira May 2022. After Marida, family amnanga inanipisha pa nyumba after amanamangira pa nyumba ya family. So after Marida bananipisha na bana bali 5. Then abana manje naso kongala na beve naenda nyumba ya rendi. So nyumba ya rendi muniriri bana abachepesa nyamine nili nawo nero na mwana amene salibwina na spinal bifida. So umwana kuteta ndizene mwamene ninga mtandizire nilipe.
This emotional mother adds that a disabled daughter has a lower body part paralyzed and that she depends on diapers when answering the call of nature, a cost which has been consuming all the little resources she has been making. For now, the plight of this family relies on well-wishers who will come on board to help the family. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A social worker and founder of Kibiko's Home Care for the Aged has called for partnerships among non-state actors and government in uplifting the lives of old people in society. Esther Jerry regrets that old people have continued to be neglected on account of allegedly practicing witchcraft, a situation she described as unfortunate. She has since reminded citizens to be aware that old age cannot be avoided and that it is important to treat the aged with respect and humility. Here's a report.
Let's just change our mindset. Let's love our old people who sacrificed so much. Most of them were there, they fought for our independence.
Esther Jerry, a degree holder in social work, has devoted her life to safeguarding the plight of old people in Zambia. With her little resources, she's running a center for old people. The old people get to practice their old skills and still be able to earn some money for their daily upkeep. They spend much of the time at the center from Monday to Thursday, and meals are prepared, while Friday is dedicated towards education. They feel the center is making a huge positive difference in their lives.
So umene mabwera so mukatiperekere kotengo abwino kutika viko ipitirire nditu na ulemu amene otipasa ife makolo amene tivutika kumayumba endwana bana bale zapota monene ale tufuika ala sitabalo atupelefya kufuala banono mututa siseko ubuteko butwafueko mulunde pwamako mukasiano abombe karamba sana.
Undoubtedly, in Zambia, taking care of the aged is something successive governments have not paid much attention to, and the disintegration of families has worsened the situation. Ms. Jele tells Camnet News that the noble gesture comes at a huge cost, but her passion to save humanity is her driving force and hopes things will get better.
The passion that I carry with it actually makes it easier, because even days where it's difficult, the grandparents, the elderly will not actually know that things are tough, and the mealie meal was actually difficult to find that day, or the relish. They just see things happening, but they don't really know that there's a struggle behind that.
She has since called on people who are keen to support the aged in society to partner with her organization in order to make a positive impact in the lives of old people.
So if there are any well-wishers out there that are able to come through in any way, that will really be appreciated, because it will go a long way. This work is not for me alone, it's not for the government, it's for every person, every organization that feel that they can make a difference. That most of our elders in these communities are made to look like they're witches. What we usually forget is that we will all grow old one day. Are we going to accept being called witches? You know, it's very unfortunate. So this is just an appeal. We all have grandparents. We all have great-grandparents. I don't think we would like to see a situation where our grandparents is being dragged.
Well, if you are young today, and as long as you do not die early, you will become old. Hence, everyone has a role to play in creating a better foundation in order to enjoy old age. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
MUMBWA District Hospital Medical Superintendent Dr. Gabriel Kitwa has appealed to the local authority in the district to allocate funds for the hospital for the expansion of the maternity ward and mortuary. Dr. Kitwa says the hospital is failing to meet the growing population of bed spaces for mothers giving birth, and there is no enough space for corpses at the mortuary, as the mortuary currently holds 6 corpses only. He was speaking when MUMBWA Central Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua visited the hospital to appreciate the new mothers among other challenges being faced at the hospital. MUMBWA District Health Hospital by 06 hours in the morning recorded the 1 New Year baby from a first-time mom. More in this report.
MUMBWA District Hospital authorities have re-echoed the need for the expansion of a mortuary which has collapsed and not operating for at least 3 months. The hospital mortuary, which has the capacity of holding 6 bodies, is against the growing population in thousands. Speaking when MUMBWA Central Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua visited the hospital Sunday, Hospital Superintendent Dr. Gabriel Kitwa explains that people are forced to bury their loved ones within a day or take the body to the urban clinic in the area, which has only the capacity of 4 bodies.
2018, we can say that the attendance at the hospital doubled. Yes, so it has doubled. Before, even if you look at the delivery notes, you find that in 2018 we had maybe 190 deliveries or 200 deliveries in a month. But right now we're even reaching 500 deliveries in a month. So making it even the consumables, even the cleaning materials and everything, all the supplies becoming little for the population that we are serving. So including this mortuary capacity, we find that it has been 6 bodies, but it happens that sometimes you have to force 2 bodies in one compartment, which is not good. But with the coming of the...
Also applied for other things such as extension of the labor ward because it is not adequate, our population has grown. We've also applied also for the fencing of the surroundings for this hospital because the security, we really need security and we need to make sure that the boundaries are well marked. I think to your office also we wrote last week asking that through the same CDF we can have titles for all the health facilities that we have. So we are really grateful for the support so far. We are just asking if possible if the processes of using the CDF can be sped up. Because for example the issue of the mortuary for us it's a very serious emergency, but it's more than 3 months now. Works have not yet started. So that's just our plea.
Mr. Nanjoa, who is also Central Province Minister, says government appreciates the challenges and is hopeful that under the Constituency Development Fund, the expansion of needy areas at the hospital will be worked on soon.
We concerned because the mortuary issue has been a topical issue in the constituency, which we need to handle and see how we can manage it. It hasn't started now. It has been a long issue. I think even Dr. Shtuo left this problem. So I've been grappling with it. We have had situations where our people have to take bodies taken to Nangoma, all those situations. That is very stressful. Or if you can't do that, you have to bury immediately. Someone dies, take the body, go and bury. It was difficult. So let's just continue working together. At least I can assure you that the money is already approved. It's a matter of seeking more, goes over the same thresholds that CS cannot sign the amount that you require. So it has to go on a higher level. That's what has delayed this. But everything is set. And just by the way, His Excellency the President is very particular and is emphasizing that now these health facilities, we need to make sure that all services are found there. Antenatal, water, reticulations, and all kinds of things. So issues like the orphans and mothers' shelter definitely are a priority.
Mr. Nanjoa also took time to deliver the baby hampers to the newborn babies at the hospital, encouraging new mothers to take the health of their children seriously.
Here, they are both girls. Your mom, mother.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News.
Meanwhile, MUMBWA District Health Director Dr. Clementina Perry has disclosed that the district has 40 COVID-19 active cases, of which 3 are currently in admission at MUMBWA District Hospital. Dr. Perry says the district has enough health workers and medical supplies to fight the deadly disease.
Positive cases, and out of those 40 we have 2 that are hospitalized, but we do not have anyone who is critical or on oxygen. But we are just reminding people that COVID is there, and people still have to make sure that they follow the golden rules that are there. They do the social distancing, they avoid crowded places, they wear their masks wherever they are with other people, and they make sure that they wash their hands and they sanitize as often as possible. So we are making sure that that is being brought back and people are understanding. Of course, working with the media and also whatever meeting that we have, we are taking advantage of that just to remind people that let's not relax. Even if we have MUMBWA, we have 89% of our population that is vaccinated, still we have to still take precautions. Thank you.
Do you have the capacity in case of a full-blown?
Well, I can say we are ready. We have the healthcare workers. I think we've just seen that the government has just employed many healthcare workers, and we had more than 120 that were given to MUMBWA. Then on top of that, we have the supplies that are there. So yes, we are ready. But we just hope that it doesn't reach that much, that people will follow the precautions that are there so that, we are not disturbed in any way in the services that we are giving.
Siavonga Town Council Chairperson Given Kwapo has advised new mothers to always speak good of their babies because what the tongue speaks has either positive or negative impact on a child's life. Speaking when presenting the donations to 8 New Year and Christmas born babies, Mr. Kwapo encouraged the mothers to take care of the gifts that God has blessed them with as they were the future leaders. Meanwhile, Mr. Kwapo has revealed that the council, through one of its partners, has pledged to donate paint to the hospital and that the painting of the health facility will soon commence. And hospital medical officer in charge, Dr. Cletus Mwansa, has commended the local authority for a job well done, adding that the council should continue with a good spirit of remembering the community.
It is at this stage, what you say here shall surely come to pass. And I
promise that this one shall be a very successful baby, a very productive citizen of this country. It is my prayer from deep down my heart that may he or she prosper in Jesus' name. Oyo mwana wenifuna akakule umtendele well-behaved person, and of course to prosper. Akachokerere omvera. Yes, so mkapakile nzero maninga.
Kalumba kuvutie that person. Bwana mholira kwa mpondo msangu wa msingi. Kanso chairman. Kalumba utugahirira.
HIVO's Southern Africa Country Engagement Manager William Chilufya has warned that the recently approved energy sector policies will hinder Zambia's commitment to combat climate change. Mr. Chilufya says such policies are retrogressive as they pose serious threats to forests, considering the demand for charcoal will be on the rise. He says what the country needs is to be searching for alternative sources of energy in order to safeguard the forests. The Energy Regulation Board, ERB, last year approved ZESCO's bid to revise upwards electricity connection fees and electricity tariffs, which are expected to be enforced this year.
Us working in climate justice, we are seeing a situation where our trees will suffer. There'll be plenty of charcoal now on the market, and demand for charcoal will be high because people want that energy to prepare their food. This is a time, as a country, we need to sit together as stakeholders and look at what are some of the potential sustainable ways in which you can provide energy. In the meantime, could we look at the gas, for instance, and could we find ways and means of reducing the price of gas so that it becomes accessible to a lot of people out there? Could we also promote small initiatives but innovative, such as rocket stoves, where they don't need to have a huge amount of charcoal and the like? So this is the conversation that we should be having now, and which should be highly promoted by stakeholders and especially the government. If we leave the situation unattended to what it is now, we are going to cut our trees and we are going to cause ourselves a lot of challenges regarding our climate change. As you hear, trees are very important in our effort to address climate change issues.
Beneficiaries under the Social Cash Transfer Program in MUMBWA District of Central Province have commended the government for introducing the Rural Payment Mode system aimed at improving efficiency and transparency in the handling of social cash transfer. Speaking during the flagging off of the disbursement of funds in Nalusanga ward, the beneficiaries have explained that there has been some alleged illegalities on the program, hence the improvement of the system will go a long way in mitigating those challenges. Meanwhile, MUMBWA District Commissioner Namukolo Hayumba has urged the beneficiaries not to get too excited during this festive season and misuse the money received. More in the following report.
As the Zambian population is growing, a call for good service delivery in all spheres of life cannot be underestimated. This is why government, through the Department of Social Welfare, has introduced a rural payment mode using the Zambia Integrated Social Protection Information System aimed at improving the social cash transfer program. And flagging off the disbursement of the funds in Nalusanga ward, MUMBWA District Commissioner Namukolo Hayumba took time to challenge beneficiaries to put the money to good use.
Manje akakandrama kameti tenga please, ndarama sichepa ndarama ilimonga chakudya sichepa wamena adya kangono na wamena sana adya pali difference so ndarama meti tenga please na papata tenti 7 bwino tisebenzese bambiri benangu yamba na tuma business benangu do we have my savings group? Yes, they do mumachita my savings pakuti manje ndama yano chite bwanji ikulekwe
Ines Luyako is MUMBWA District Social Welfare Officer.
That's HQ level, provincial level and district level,
we're able to see what the PPM is doing. So the PPM can pay beneficiaries offline, so which means it's a good system, considering that MUMBWA is a rural district, so it can be done offline. And also it lessens mistakes on the part of the PPM, meaning it increases efficiency. Yes. So I think the system has come to, it's an advantage on our side.
The move by government has excited beneficiaries who now say fraud and other alleged illegalities will be clamped down.
Kikuweza reduce kwa maproblemu akunyengererwa. Nikimusebeza omuntu naho kakula haiba kuna kukopiwa bale baba lutusa kutuholera mashenyi balupotelera moni mwana. Baba mu ababone kilibo fo bamukiri hole baba takakainya ni kuli umfe kwatene kakainya ni kuli umufe. So ye yakukopiwa hizi hande hakuna yakakona kuweza ataki kapa kuhamu hamashenyi kuluzeza hakuna
akuti potenga kandalama katu tizikopeo chifukwa ukawalala bonalipo winangu angabwere tingankale tinaina abantu botimirira but kupeza uja muntu wokuyimirira atenga ndalama mailo kumufunsa akani atine sina fikeko manja pa kulibe kwa meba zambo kanina chifuka ma pictures yabo zamba kubagwira akakamba kutia isindine baza tuzamba kuona pa ma pictures nanga uyu ni ndani andine zeni nkani zamba kusokoloka.
Matias Chewe, Camnet TV News, MUMBWA.
Kabwe Central Constituency Member of Parliament Chrysosta Perry has reaffirmed the government's commitment to improving Zambia's economic and social well-being. Speaking when she handed over a check grant worth more than 1,400,000 kwacha to 49 beneficiaries in Kabwe Central constituency, the lawmaker says the government will continue to formulate sustainable economic models compatible with the new economic global trends. Meanwhile, Kabwe Municipal Council Town Clerk Jovox Ngoma has appealed to the beneficiaries not to squander the resources. More in this report.
Kabwe Central Constituency Member of Parliament Chrysosta Perry says the new Dawn government will continue striving hard to improve the economic and social well-being of Zambians using sustainable economic methods. The lawmaker said this when she handed over the second, third and fourth quarter grant wealth of 1,469,250 kwacha checks to 49 beneficiaries in Kabwe Central Constituency.
May I take this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. ADHERENCE, and the new Dawn government for prioritizing empowerment programs, especially to the youth and women, therefore advancing socio-economic well-being to our benefiting families. What we are witnessing today is a clear testimony of a successful economic empowerment program the new Dawn government promised the people of Zambia, and those preaching and anticipating failure have been proved very wrong. Today we are handing over grants to the 49 cooperatives and clubs drawn from the 14 wards from Kabwe Central constituency worth 1,464,250 kwacha in total.
And Kabwe Municipal Council Town Clerk Jovax Ngoma appealed to the beneficiaries to utilize the resources prudently.
Okay? We are people who are responsible. We know. So those who got money in, was that June? Was that June when we were handing over the August? But what the general, now I'm notice.
And passing the vote of thanks, Ms. Kreming-Konde also appealed to her fellow beneficiaries not to squander the money. Reporting for Camnet TV News, I'm Mwape in Kabwe.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Good news, the rains have started. You need to plan your future. Generation Wealth is the way to go. Has grafted avocado plants fruiting within 2 to 3 years for sale at only 90 kwacha each, and ordinary avocados at only 45 kwacha each. Contact us on 0979 753010 or 0962 965 883. We are open from 8 hours to 17 hours, Monday to Friday, at Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, opposite Hilltop Hospital. Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters on 2nd January 2023 with his guest, Dr. Chimba Kambwili.
You can't do this thing. This is not right. No, but this is not right. Even when he was on the cross, feeling the pain, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do." Equally, I'm a Christian, and that's my life. Where I come from, they say, "Nalikwevele tabulapo, nalikwevele tabulapo." Elo kabili wa kweve mfwa ya kwa nopo, mutai. But sometimes I'm misunderstood.
As they discuss building a better Zambia
on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. 2nd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Sepiso Mashanda says he is saddened by the number of Zambia Army personnel from Kohima and Chindwin barracks who have been knocked down by overspeeding vehicles along the Kawe-Kapiri-Mposhi Great North Road near the 2 military installations. Speaking at the 2nd Infantry Brigade Annual Ball for officers, The brigade commander says the construction of the perimeter wall fence at Chindwin Secondary and Primary School will reduce both the number of military personnel and school-going children being knocked down by overspeeding vehicles. And speaking at the same event, Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe commended the men and women in uniform for their professionalism and dedication to duty.
2nd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Sepiso Mashanda is saddened by a number of non-uniformed and uniformed army personnel from both Kohima and Chindwin barracks that have been killed by overspeeding vehicles along the Kabwe-Kapiri Great North Road. Speaking at the 2nd Infantry Brigade Annual Ball for Officers, the brigade commander says the construction of the perimeter wall fence at both Chindwin Secondary and Primary Schools will reduce the number of learners being knocked by overspeeding vehicles when crossing the highway, as they have only one point of crossing the road that will be marked with a zebra crossing.
So may I take mention that the construction of the wall fence has come at a better time. As a brigade, we have witnessed a lot of fatal accidents involving our personnel and school-going children trying to cross the busy Lusaka road, where sometimes lives have been lost.
The brigade commander says he is delighted that even schools in military installations are receiving a fair share of the national cake from the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
We are aware that both Chindwin Secondary and Primary School are again earmarked beneficiaries of school desks under phase 2 of the CDF disbursements of funds.
He adds that being a chairperson of the Provincial Joint Operation Committee, PJOC, he will continue to support the civil authorities in all spheres of governance at provincial level.
Sir, as chairperson of PJOC, may I make mention that PJOC will remain committed to support the civil authorities in all the governmental and provincial programs within the Central Province.
And Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe, speaking at the same event, commended the men and women in uniform for their professionalism and dedication to duty.
It is not a secret that our officers and soldiers in the brigade have worked very hard in ensuring that peace and security is maintained in Central Province. This has ultimately contributed to the sustained peace the country has enjoyed, and we are grateful for this dedication that you, our men, our gallant men and women in uniform, have exhibited so far. Your dedication to duty whenever you are called upon is highly recognized and appreciated by provincial administration.
Away from their guns and armories, the men and women in uniform celebrated the end of the 2022 military calendar with their loved spouses in style. Reporting for Camnet TV News, I'm Mwape in Kabwe.
The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflections, JCTR, has observed that debt restructuring is key towards determining economic outlook and stability. JCTR Executive Director Father Alex Muyewe tells Camnet News that the debt restructuring process is vital as it has a direct relationship with the performance of the local currency. Father Muyewe says he is hopeful that the creditors will reach an agreement on debt restructuring in the first quarter of 2023 as envisaged. Meanwhile, Father Muyewe notes that reviving the economy will also depend on a good rainfall pattern to aid food production.
And we just hope that also coming into the, as we move into the 2023 with the projections that there should be conclusion in terms of the debt restructuring process that is going on. There are projections that by the first quarter of 2023 or by the end of the second quarter in 2023, the debt restructuring negotiations will come to fruition, will be concluded. And that might also have an impact in how the indicators, macroeconomic indicators will look like in terms of the performance of the quarter, in terms of also the deficit levels. I think our fiscal deficit, that is key because that also impacts on a large part of the large picture the global picture in terms of looking at how the economy is doing. So we can hope that one, the rainy season will do well, and secondly, that there will be a conclusion in our project in terms of the debt restructuring.
United Party for National Development, UPND Information Technology Policy Consultant Eddie Liwali has advised Zambians to give the UPND administration a chance in amending the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act. Mr. Liwali says the government has shown its good intentions to repeal and amend the law as is evidenced through the repeal of the archaic laws in the Penal Code which talk about the death penalty. He says the repeal of the Cybersecurity Act should not be rushed, as was the case when it was formulated. She says government needs to do a wider consultation to allow all citizens participate so that it can stand the test of time.
Been a call from various stakeholders for the amendment of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act. But what I would want to encourage the Zambians is to give the government a chance, because already the government has shown intentions to repeal, amend, and in some cases actually repeal archaic laws, as we have seen already with the repealing of the penal code part which talks about the death sentence. But with the Cyber Crimes and Cybersecurity Act, it should not be done in a hurry, like it was also formulated in a hurry for political expedience. We encourage the government to do wider consultation and involve as many stakeholders as possible.
You're watching Camnet Television and not just another channel. We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters on 2nd January 2023 with his guest, Dr. Chimba Kambwili.
You can't do this thing quick show me. This is not right. No, but this is not right. Even when he was on the cross, feeling the pain, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do." Equally, I'm a Christian, and that's my fact. Where I come from, they say, "Nalikwevele tabulapo, nalikwevele tabulapo." Elo kabiluwa kweve mfwa ya kwa noko. Sometimes. But sometimes I'm misunderstood.
As they discuss using a better Zambia
on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara assured on Saturday that the 46 Ivorian soldiers detained in Mali for nearly 6 months and who have just been sentenced to 20 years in prison in Bamako will soon return to Ivorian soil. The 46 Ivorian soldiers suspected of being mercenaries held in Mali since July were sentenced on Friday to 20 years in prison before the expiry of the ultimatum set by West African heads of state to the Malian junta to release them. They were found guilty of attacking and plotting against the government, undermining the external security of the state. In other international stories, the world's 8 billion people Saturday ushered in 2023, bidding farewell to a turbulent 12 months marked by war in Europe, stinging price rises, Lionel Messi's World Cup glory, and the deaths of Queen Elizabeth, Pele, and Pope Benedict. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara Saturday sought to reassure families of soldiers held in Mali, saying the 46 men would return home soon. His comments come after diplomatic exchanges between Abidjan and Bamako to secure the troops' freedom. The soldiers who have been in Malian detention since July were sentenced by a military court on Friday to 20 years in prison. They were found guilty of treason after a two-day trial. The Ivorian president made no mention of the soldiers' condemnation in his speech. Malian authorities arrested the soldiers on their arrival in Bamako in July, accusing them of being mercenaries. Abidjan says the troops were in the country to provide logistical support to the UN mission there, MINUSMA. The episode strained relations between Mali, the UN mission, and West African bloc ECOWAS. Mediation in recent weeks by Togo has raised hope that the men will be pardoned by Malian authorities and let free.
New Zealand was among the first places in the world to ring in the new year, with thousands gathering in Auckland Harbour for the countdown. Just 2 hours later, Australia followed suit with a spectacular fireworks display over Sydney Harbour Bridge. New Year's fireworks made their return to Hong Kong after an absence of 3 years, albeit in modest fashion. The city's government just 2 days ago removed the long-standing pandemic restrictions on public gatherings. There was a similar sense of excitement in Wuhan 3 years to the day from the first reports there of a virus that would later become COVID-19, with some revellers striking a hopeful note for 2023.
因为我刚刚毕业参加工作1年，我上了半年网课，所以对我的感受就是说可能会有一些就业方面的问题，但是目前来说的话，就是希望未来发展会更好一些。
In Moscow, there was a low-key build-up as Vladimir Putin used his New Year's address to denounce the West's support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, in Kyiv, citizens braved the streets of the Ukrainian capital, even as the city was rocked by explosions throughout the day.
Билеты в цирк сегодня, представление было в час дня. Без 10 началась тревога. Они 3,5 часа сидели у меня в убежище цирка.
In Paris, the Champs-Élysées were thronged with party-goers who watched as the world-famous Arc de Triomphe was lit up by pyrotechnics. London hosted its own celebrations 1 hour later, with the Thames lit up on the stroke of midnight, bringing to an end a tumultuous year which saw the United Kingdom change prime ministers twice and welcome a new monarch to the throne.
It's now time for sports news. In sports news tonight, Al Nassr fans believe that Cristiano Ronaldo joining their club will open the door for more football stars to follow the path and join the Saudi League. The Portuguese star is set to receive the biggest football salary in history after joining the Saudi Arabian outfit on a 3-year deal. The club supporters who rushed into the club store on Saturday to buy CR7 jerseys with the famous number 7 also believe that the deal will enhance not only Al Nassr but also the whole league. Ronaldo was a free agent after leaving Manchester United last month following a controversial interview in which he slammed the club and manager Erik ten Hag.
Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't started a match for Al Nassr, but Ronaldo mania is palpable in Saudi Arabia. A day after signing the Portuguese attacker, Al Nassr climbed to the top of the Saudi First Division after a narrow victory over Al Khalij on Saturday. Vincent Abubakar, who will be Ronaldo's attack partner, was the scorer. The Cameroonian World Cup hero's header took his season tally to 3. On the sidelines of the match, the Al Nassr club shop was stormed by fans eager to get their new yellow jersey with Cristiano Ronaldo's mythical number 7 on it. Fans who hope the arrival of the star will bring light to their club and country. An international player as big a name as Cristiano Ronaldo joining the Saudi League will be a huge enhancement for the Saudi League. I expect that going forward, any player who receives an offer from a Saudi club will accept it because CR7 did. He will accept the offer for sure. I think this is a plus for the reputation of the Saudi League and will attract the attention of football fans and spectators. To bring in Ronaldo, Al Nassr did not hesitate to offer a huge contract, estimated at nearly 200 million euros per year, as well as an ambassadorial role for Saudi Arabia's bid to host the 2030 World Cup.
To end Camnet television news, we look at the headlines once again. MUMBWA District Hospital operating without a mortuary for 3 months. Authorities call for enhanced adherence to COVID-19 guidelines. 14-year-old boy of Lusaka abandons school to take care of his siblings. In international news, Ivorian President VOWS soldiers held in Mali will return soon. And in sports news, Al Nassr fans rush to buy club merchandise after Ronaldo signing. When I look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. Thank you once again for joining us in this news tonight. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and Happy New Year once again. Bye-bye.